Okay, I think everything is set up. Marlene just asked about live stream link. If you guys want to share the live stream or anything with anyone, just have them look up Project Invent on YouTube and it's going to be the first thing playing there. So if everyone feels ready to go, we're going to open up the room. Really excited for you guys all to be able to present today because this is such an awesome opportunity to be able to still bring this virtual, because we know how much work you put in throughout the year to be able to be here and be able to pitch today. So I already got a sneak peek of what you guys have to pitch from your practice pitches and from your slides, but I know that the hundreds of people who will be joining us will be able to celebrate you as well. So give yourself a huge kudos for being here to begin with and making it here despite COVID, despite everything. And then just make sure to have fun today with being able to share your inventions with so many people. Alrighty, let's open it up.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining and welcome to Project Invent's May Demo Day. My name is Bibit and I'll be your MC for today. Today you're going to hear from some incredibly talented high school students from across the country who will be pitching their inventions for social good. They're all part of Project Invent, a national organization empowering young people to innovate. All of these students spent the past year going through the design process, interviewing users, building their ideas, creating the inventions you'll see here today. This is the first time we're hosting Demo Day virtually, and we want to make sure that the experience is as smooth as possible for our audience and our teams. We're going to share a few ground rules and Zoom instructions to start. Most of what you'll need is in the black bar at the bottom of your screen. Throughout the pitches, make sure to keep both your camera and microphone off during using the first two buttons on your black bar. If you're having any tech troubles, please select the chat in the black bar and you can privately chat the hosts, and one of our tech volunteers will work with you to solve any problems you may be having. You can also get our attention by clicking participants in the black bar and selecting the raise hand button that shows up, and one of our tech volunteers will respond to you as soon as they can. Sometimes the audio or video may be choppy depending on the presenters and/or your internet connection, so please be patient with it. You can use the clapping reaction to virtually applaud for our teams by clicking Reactions feature in the black bar or in your Participants option. Let's give that a try. If everyone can go down to the black bar on their screen and click the applaud button, let's get some virtual applause going. All right. Now that we went over some Zoom etiquette, let's move on to some details of the event. This event will be a little bit over 2 hours. We'll be starting with a keynote followed by 7 student team pitches. After every team gets a chance to pitch, we will have a 30-minute breakout session where you as the audience members will get a chance to speak to the teams more closely. While you're listening to the pitches, think about questions you may want to ask the teams during these breakouts. We'll bring everyone together again at the end of the event and finish with our awards. There will be an intermission mid-event, but feel free to take a break whenever you need it. We do ask that you please stay signed in if you intend on returning. Now, to start off our event, we will be hearing from our keynote speaker, Jane Chen. Countless babies are born prematurely every day, and their lives are in danger without access to infant warming technologies. Jane is the co-founder and inventor of Embrace Innovations, a renowned company that creates an infant incubator that is 1% of the cost of a traditional incubator and is estimated to have saved the lives of over 300,000 babies across 22 countries. Jane and her team have been recognized by former President Barack Obama and many others for their work. Jane has made an impact in so many lives, and we're so excited to have her share about her journey today. Thank you so much to Jane for joining us, and I will now pass it off to her to kick off the event.
Great, thanks so much. It's so nice to be here with you guys virtually, and congratulations on all of your projects. It's really exciting what Project Invent is doing. So really, really excited to share my story with you today. I'm just gonna share screen. Give me 1 second here. Can you guys see that okay? Yeah, awesome. Okay, so my story goes back to being a student at Stanford back in 2007. I took a course while I was doing my MBA called Design for Extreme Affordability. And this is a course that takes all students from all the different graduate school programs with the goal of creating products for people living on less than $1 a day. And so the challenge given to my team at the time that you see here was to build a baby incubator that costs less than 1% of a traditional incubator, which in the US is about $20,000. So I worked with an aerospace engineer, a PhD in electrical engineering, and a master's in computer science. And none of us had ever built a product before. None of us even had any medical background. And so we're kind of scratching our heads wondering, how in the world are we going to do this? And then we were taught this design thinking framework, which you guys are really familiar with now. But as you guys know, there's 5 key steps to this framework. Empathy, which I think is the crux of great design thinking. So how do you stand in the shoes of your customers and really see things from their perspective? From there, defining the problem, who exactly is your customer and what's the need you're trying to address. Ideating, coming up with as many solutions as possible. And as you guys know, in this phase, there's no such thing as a bad idea. And then we prototyped and tested. And with that, we continue to iterate and went through these steps over and over again until we came to our final product. And so as we did our research and really try to understand the problem, we discovered that 15 million preterm and underweight babies are born every year around the world. 3 million babies die in the first 28 days of their life. So that's 6 babies every minute. And one of the biggest problems they face is staying warm. And that's the primary function of an incubator. But incubators are not only expensive, they require a constant supply of electricity. They're difficult to operate. You're not going to find them in remote parts of the world where many of these babies are dying. And instead, what we would see are situations like this. So this is a totally overcrowded neonatal intensive care unit. Every baby in here is in need of incubation. And yet you have a donated incubator sitting in the corner of this room. Why? Well, there's no electricity to power it. If a part breaks, there's no spare parts for replacement. And oftentimes no one even knows how to use these things, right? And so even when these are free, they're not suitable for these systems, for these settings. And instead what we would see are things like this. These are old space heaters used to warm babies. This was a very common solution in India, where I lived for 4 years to get embrace off the ground. So India is home to 40% of all the world's premature babies. Or the other most common solution we would see are light bulbs. But in every clinic I visited, I'd hear stories of light bulbs shattering over babies because of problems with circuits. So a lot of really unsafe and ineffective solutions out there. From there, we went into the villages, and that's really where I began to understand the problem. So this is Sujata. Sujata is from a village in South India. She's one of the first women I met when I moved to India. And she told me her story. She gave birth to her baby 2 months prematurely, took her baby to a village doctor who said to her that she needed to go to a city hospital so her baby could be placed in an incubator. But that hospital was over 4 hours away and she didn't have the money to get there. And so her baby died. And as we traveled across India, we would hear this story over and over again. And so based on this research, we realized what was needed was not just a lower cost version of what exists today, but something that can function without a constant supply of electricity. And that's easy enough for a mother or a midwife to use in these types of settings. And so from there, we went to the drawing board. These are the very first sketches of the incubator. We wanted an easy user interface, so we created a sleeping bag kind of design. And then we thought, what could maintain warmth at a constant temperature without the need for electricity? And we thought about a concept in physics that when something changes phases, let's say from a solid to a liquid or a liquid to a solid, that happens at one constant temperature. So what if we could find something that had a melting point of human body temperature and then put enough of that substance in that phase change actually happened over many hours? We didn't know what that was at the time. And so we prototyped with the closest thing we could find, which is margarine that you see here. Lots of margarine stuffed into Ziploc bags and duct taped together. We then went to a Salvation Army and just looked for everything baby related we could find. And so these are some of our earliest prototypes. And here we thought, why not create a product, a sleeping bag, where there's a little tube, if you can see on the picture on the right, that you pour boiling water into, and then that would melt the phase change material, which would in turn regulate the temperature of the baby. And then someone said to us, it's probably not a great idea to put boiling water right next to a baby's head. So we quickly scrapped that idea. Here we realized babies in these countries often don't wear diapers, so we needed a waterproof material that would be really easy to clean. And that's the material that we kind of started finding here. And then with those early prototypes, we went back to the field and we tested with moms and healthcare workers and doctors. We learned that sterility was a huge concern because these products would be reused across multiple babies. And so we ended up creating a version of the sleeping bag out of one single piece of fabric where there are minimal seams on the inside, excuse me, where dirt can collect. Here, doctors requested a viewing window so they could monitor the baby's breathing and color. So we added that in. And then I always love telling this story. So initially we had a temperature indicator that indicated when you needed to reheat this pouch or how warm it was. And that went from 30 to 40 degrees Celsius. But as we went into these villages, moms would say to us, we don't trust Western medicine. If you give a certain dosage of medicine to my baby, I'll cut that in half because it's probably too strong. And so if you told me to keep this at 37 degrees Celsius or 98 degrees Fahrenheit, I'd keep it at a little less than that because that might be too warm, which led to a really important design decision to make this a binary happy face, frowny face, as opposed to a numeric scale. And so I really think that it's these small nuances and really understanding your customers in the deepest way that, again, make for great product design. When we needed to do more product testing, we used our own family members. This is my nephew that I stuffed into one of the early prototypes. But it was in this way that we tested and retested hundreds of times and iterated over and over again until we came to a product that we were finally happy with. So if you can see my little screen here, this is our little incubator made out of waterproof fabrics where there's really minimal seams on the inside. As I mentioned earlier, this is the clear viewing window. And the magic is in this pouch of wax. So this is the phase change material that melts at 98 degrees. Once you melt this, it maintains that temperature for 8 hours at a stretch. And you simply put it into the pocket in the back of this sleeping bag. And that is enough to create a warm little micro environment for the baby. So it took about 3 years to do all of the design and testing and clinical testing. And we finally launched this product, I think it was 2012. And so the most exciting part of this journey has really been getting this into the hands of the moms and the babies who need it the most. And I'll share just a few of my favorite stories. So this is a story in China. About 5 years ago, we started working with an orphanage in Beijing. And a day after we delivered our product, they called us up saying they had found a 2-pound baby that was abandoned on a street. They brought him in to the orphanage, kept him in our incubator for about 30 days. And 7 months later, I went to go visit this orphanage and got to hold this little boy in my arms. He survived, and it was the first time a baby of this size had ever survived in the orphanage. And then a few months after that, I got an email from a family in Chicago saying that they had adopted this little boy and they were traveling to Beijing that summer to bring him home. And so here Nathan is with his new family. When he turned 2, we sent him a little incubator for his birthday. You can see he's outgrown it by quite a bit. And now he is this thriving, exuberant 5-year-old boy who plays the violin and does taekwondo. And it's been so fun to track his progress. It's hard to track the progress of every baby, but Nathan lives in Chicago, so I hear from his mom a lot. And it's just really living testament to why I do this work and why the whole team does this work. I'll just share one more story. A couple of years ago, I was giving a talk at Harvard, and afterwards a woman approached me and she said, my baby who was saved by your incubator. It turned out she ran a local nonprofit in central India and gave birth to her baby 2 months prematurely. The clinic that she went to happened to have an Embrace incubator. And then she showed me pictures of her boy, who was 3 years old at the time, and he's a really healthy and exuberant 3-year-old. And so these are just a few of the thousands of stories of the babies who have been impacted by Embrace. But it certainly has not been, an easy journey or a linear path to get from point A to point B. In fact, one of my favorite quotes is that everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And one of our biggest setbacks happened a couple of years ago. We were doing a big distribution deal with a national, multinational medical device company. We had been working on this deal for about 9 months. And to me, this was like getting Embrace to the finish line, because once we had a global distribution partner in place, they could get this out to every baby who needed it. But about a week before we signed the documents for this deal, we found out that this company had fired their global healthcare CEO, who was the main advocate for this deal. And as a result, they were pulling the plug on the whole thing. And we almost had no money left in the bank. You know, we were waiting for this to finalize. This was going to be the next big step for us. So at that point, you know, we thought we were going to go bankrupt. It was a horrible feeling, you know, pouring our hearts and soul into this for 6 years. And then this miracle happened where I got in touch with someone I'd met 9 months prior who really believed in our mission. And, you know, within a couple of days, this person ended up putting in the funding to get us back on track, which was amazing. But the whole thing really forced us to take a step back and reevaluate our whole strategy, because we knew that the economics didn't work out for us as a company to distribute and manufacture this one single product on their own, you know, on our own. We needed to do something different now that we didn't have this global distributor. And so we thought about this, and we came upon an insight that over the years, as we were distributing our incubators, doctors all over the world would tell us how well babies were sleeping in it. And that wasn't surprising. You know, the product mimics the womb. And so the less temperature fluctuations the baby's experiencing, the less disturbances to sleep. And so what we did was we took that insight and we pivoted our business model. We developed a line of products for the US market called Little Lotus. These are swaddles that have a temperature regulating function. So the fabric has microns of wax embedded into the swaddles, the same wax we use in our incubators. And we discovered that babies sleep almost an hour longer a day with the Little Lotus products versus existing swaddles in the market. And then we added a one-to-one model for that. So for every Little Lotus sold, we help to save a baby with the Embrace incubator. And so I often talk about this because I think when we think about innovation, we have to think about how do we innovate not only on products, but on business models. And oftentimes there's a few pivots that are required to kind of get us to that point. And we've certainly had many, many pivots in our journey. And so with these two products together, Embrace has now saved over 300,000 babies. We actually just did our most recent count. The number is now 340,000 babies, which is so exciting. And our next goal is to get this product, you know, into the hands of every baby who needs it, and really get this to that million baby mark. So that is kind of the story. And if I could leave you guys with kind of one lesson, I thought about this over the last couple of days, you know, what would that lesson be that might be most relevant to this group? And I have this quote here from Winston Churchill, who says, "Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts." And I have a picture of me surfing up here because I became obsessed with surfing a few years ago. But the thing is, most of the time I'm not on my surfboard. I'm falling off my surfboard and having to find the courage to paddle back out there, you know, and catch that next wave. And really, that's what this design thinking process is all about for me. There's no such thing as failure. It's just every step is a learning opportunity. It's an opportunity to grow. And it's really about that courage and persistence and tenacity to keep moving forward that is going to be what is the most exciting part of this journey. Because in the end, I don't think that we are defined by our successes or our failures, which can be arbitrary. I think that we're ultimately defined by this journey that we take. And so truly the journey is more important than the destination. I hope you guys have learned that in this process. And I'm sure you guys have wonderful things to present today. But I think more than anything, it's that process, the design thinking process, embracing failure and learning from every step that you take in that process. That is the most exciting part of all of this. So again, congratulations to you guys for the work that you have done, and it is wonderful to be here.
Thank you so much for sharing those words, Jane. I feel like it's so relevant for our students, and you basically went through that same process that we had them go through this year, and you got to show how you created an impactful product along the way with it. So really, really excited to have you kick off this event. I'm Connie. I'm the founder and executive director of Project Invent, and thank you so much for everyone for joining us today. We're really glad that you were able to take a few hours out of your Sunday to hear our students pitch their inventions for social good. I think one thing that's really stood out to me in the last few months of COVID has been that we're living in a really unprecedented time right now. And what I think we can all take away from that is that we're going to need to be resilient and adaptable in a way that we've never been called to do before. And probably moving into the future, that's going to stay true. And at Project Invent, our mission has always been, how do we empower our next generation to solve new unsolved problems before? And then that seems more relevant than ever right now. In 2020, this is our second year as an organization, and over the past 2 years, we've grown from just one school to now 30 schools across 14 states to empower young people as innovators. And despite COVID, these students that are here today persevered to build and share their inventions with you. Students started in the fall by learning about their needs in their own community. They came up with ideas by wintertime and then spent the spring prototyping, building their inventions, learning how to make circuits, learning how to program, and then preparing for this pitch that you're going to hear. Unfortunately, that year was cut short when the pandemic hit US soil in March. So today, you're going to be hearing from those teams, and despite COVID, they were still able to bring it back together even as they were inventing virtually as a team and be able to present their innovations for impact. You're going to be hearing things like food allergy response technologies that students created to help save their classmate from life-threatening allergy reactions. You're going to hear about quick deploy tents to help farmers in Central Valley be able to protect their hay. And these students have spent the year inventing and are now excited to share those innovations with this now global audience that we have the opportunity to share to because of going virtual. Also joining us today, we have an esteemed panel of judges who will be helping us to learn more about those inventions. So we have Bill Hale, the former Senior Vice President of Operations at VMware and a board member at the Tech Interactive. Jen Dolsky is joining us. She's the former president of change.org, and as of this month, just founded a new company called Rising Team. Bob Baxley is here. He's the senior vice president of design and experience at ThoughtSpot. And Mar Hershenson is joining us as the co-founder and managing partner at Pear VC, where she's actually making funding decisions like the ones we're making today about early stage startups every day. Also joining us, we have Nagini Reddy and Dave Chattas from Wyden and Kennedy. They're a creative agency in Portland, and they're also going to be sponsoring one of our prizes today. So throughout the event, each team will get 5 minutes to pitch and then 4 minutes of questions from this panel. When their time is up, our MC, who you just heard from earlier, will announce the end of their time and we'll move on to the next team. So we're going to have 7 teams just like that. Along the way, our panelists will be asking our students the same kind of questions they would ask any entrepreneur looking for investment. And at the end of the event, the panelists are going to select several teams to win funding. You're going to hear stories today about the people our students have met that have inspired their inventions and about how they are using technology to make a difference. I know for me, it's always hard to leave these events not feeling inspired about the future, and we hope you are able to leave with that today too. So with that, we're going to welcome up our first team, Vida Boca from the Francis Parker School in Chicago. So we're going to give them a little bit of time to set up their slides, and then we'll be off to the pitches for today.
Hello everyone, we are Vida Boca, which is Latin for life call. We are our first year Project Invent team from Chicago at the Francis W. Parker School. Our school is a pre-kindergarten through 12th grade school with over 900 students. And we noticed that a number of our classmates of all ages are impacted by food allergies, especially nut allergies. So we decided to make this the focus of our invention this year. To begin our work, we did research by reading medical websites, watching videos, and speaking with a pediatrician at Northwestern University. Most importantly, we spoke frequently with our community partner and learned about the challenges that people with severe food allergies face. 32 million Americans have food allergies, and shockingly, every 3 minutes, someone with a food allergy heads to the emergency room. The most serious food allergy reaction is urgent and can result in anaphylaxis, which can cause a range in symptoms, from itchiness, shortness of breath, vomiting, throat closure, and even potentially death. Our community partner, Grayson Chimenti, is a junior in high school and a classmate of ours. He is severely allergic to both tree nuts and peanuts, as well as dairy, wheat, and seafood. Within 30 minutes of ingesting any of these allergens, Grayson can potentially get hives, throat swelling and closure, and vomiting. He's gone into full anaphylactic shock 12 times and partial shock in over 30 instances. Since he was a child, Grayson has had to be hyper aware of his surroundings around the clock. This includes always having close access to an EpiPen and a first aid kit.
So people with severe food allergies like Grayson must always be vigilant and prepared for any environment they walk into. That includes a party, an airplane, or even a school building. Grayson has to physically carry so many things with him at all times because he is never certain if he has an allergic reaction, if the people around him will be prepared to help him. This vigilance causes extra stress and worry. Grayson once told us that one thing that he wishes other people understood was his fear of food. Crumbs are like little bombs to me, he said. To help people like Grayson, we invented Vida Boca. Vida Boca is a compact, simple to use emergency kit that provides convenience and helps eliminate worry for food allergy sufferers. This kit is not just storage for all the necessities Grayson may need to carry, but also has important additional features that will help him get more help more efficiently and more quickly. Let's take a closer look at some of the Vida Boca features. So let's imagine that Grayson is hanging out with friends after school. Someone tells a good joke and a friend bursts out into laughter, spitting a piece of cookie crumb into the air. Some of it lands on Grayson's lip, he swallows, and his allergic reaction begins to occur. His friend opens the kit and hits the big green button labeled Start. This feature, the voice instruction, is designed to explain in clear and simple terms how to help Grayson. Once pushed, it will speak the symptoms that Grayson may be experiencing if he is in anaphylaxis. It will also talk the friend how to administer an EpiPen injection. After administering the EpiPen, the voice instructions will tell the person helping him to press the big red 911 call button. The red 911 call button in the Vida Boca is designed to directly connect with the 911 operator. The button acts very simple and is a standalone cell phone embedded in the kit. The friend will just press the button and immediately be connected through a pair of headphones with a 911 operator. This saves precious time by eliminating the need for the user to fumble around to find their own cell phone. The next feature in the Vida Boca kit is the kit stopwatch. The stopwatch is activated by a flex sensor in the case to immediately start the stopwatch the minute the case is opened. This shows first responders how long Grayson has been in anaphylactic shock, so they know whether a second dose of epinephrine is needed. Finally, the Vida Boca kit is outfitted with storage pockets, so Grayson can carry around all his other necessities, including his Benadryl, allergy cream, and allergy lists. Throughout our journey, we were constantly looking to Grayson for feedback and ideas. At first, we looked for him for general information and stories about his experiences. As we started to brainstorm and we started to come up with actual inventions, it was key for us to make something that Grayson wanted and could truly use. We shared sketches and designs with him, and his input was always at the forefront of our minds, and his voice was leading our path. Grayson's feedback helped us know how important it was for the Vida Boca to be compact, easy to carry, and reduce any worry or mental stress he is experiencing in having to be vigilant in his surroundings.
There are a few competitors to the Vida Boca currently on the market, but none that combine technology and the way our invention does. The Vida Boca is compact and is convenient to throw in any purse or clip to any backpack. Against the competitors, Vida Boca is the only one to offer standalone emergency response. The cell phone is built right into our invention. Some of our competitors offer a smartphone app to go along with a carrying case, but that requires Wi-Fi or data service and a smartphone. Vida Boca is a one-stop shop. Vida Boca is the only product that provides voice instructions, giving very clear directions on what to do in an emergency situation. By identifying symptoms and talking to a user through talking a user through administering an EpiPen. Finally, Vida Boca offers additional storage, allowing users to decide what necessities they would like to put in their kit. If our team were awarded an investment, we believe it would be important to address these next steps for our invention. Step 1, we would like to streamline the technology. The Arduino technology we use in the kit is bulky, so it would be important to find smaller tech solutions to be able to produce the kit. This will allow for more room for users to add other things they might need in their kit, like personal identification or other medication. For help doing this, we would reach out to our school connections to MHub here in Chicago, a manufacturing facility that helps inventors get their product off the ground. Step 2 would be to create more customization options for the user as they purchase the Vida Boca. For instance, users could choose the color or outside design on their kit, modifying it to be more or less discreet, depending on their preferences. Grayson told us he didn't want his kit to be so obvious, as he gets tired of his allergies being the focus. Users could also customize things like overall size and storage options. We think a kit like this could be customized for any medical condition other than food allergies, like diabetes, and include pocket-sized for insulin pens. Customization would allow any user to make the Vida Boca right for them. Thank you so much, and we'd be happy to answer any questions.
We will take 3 questions for the Vida Boca team.
Hey guys, this is Bob. Awesome job. I thought that was really an amazing product, and I could imagine this would be such a huge benefit for Grayson. And I love the fact you were doing usability tests with him. I was wondering if you had a chance to do any testing with the people who might be responding to the vocal instructions. Like, I can imagine for a high school student, it could be pretty unnerving to see their friend in this condition and to have to be able to listen to the voice instructions and actually go through the EpiPen procedure. I was just wondering if you got to that part in your research.
Talia, maybe you'd like to speak to the user testing.
Unfortunately, because of the corona, we did not have much time to do like the total amount of user testing, but some of the inspiration we took was from an AED, which is fairly has the voice instructions for when someone's needs a defibrillator, and that's something that they've user tested, and they know that voice instructions are beneficial in this situation. So we've although we didn't have time to completely user test on both sides, we did look at some other products that had similar ideas that we took inspiration from, that we know that this could work.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. I love the name, by the way.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Jen. Great job. I think it's really interesting to see how well you understood this problem. My question is about the built-in cell phone, and I'm curious whether you looked at the expense of that and how you're thinking about the sort of cost versus benefit element of including your own cell phone. I definitely understand why not wanting to have people have the complexity of downloading an app, but I'm curious how you think about whether people might just have their own phone that they could use versus you including one.
Maybe Alicia or Ruby, would one of you want to talk about that?
I can talk about that. So we totally understand that adding in and making the Vida Boca have its own technology to be able to call it does cost more. However, for us, we thought that, especially in anaphylaxis, you really only have about 2 to 3 minutes. And if things don't progress quickly from there, you're kind of out of time. And so we thought that the extra time of people scrambling around to find their cell phone or find the user's cell phone, whether it be they had to dial 911 or there was an app, that would waste more time. And so we have a cost pie chart up. And as you can see, the final cost wasn't, it's still pretty affordable. And so for us, we looked at the timetable of when Grayson would need to be administered the epinephrine, and then at what point he would need professional help. And we thought that even though it would cost a little bit more, it would really be beneficial to have the Vida Boca have its own call button for 911.
So these are the costs to you, or this is the cost to the customer?
This is our personal cost. So this is just of each of the pieces, how much they cost.
Let's give a big thank you.
I have a quick question.
Sure,
Quick question for the team. I thought that having your phone, maybe, it was expensive, but it might have been a good idea if it didn't just call 911, but maybe you could pre-program it to call your parents. As a mom, I would want to know if that is open, or your support circle. So I don't know if you thought about adding some software into that phone that, would initiate that call sequence, once the bag is open.
Cass, would you like to answer this?
Yeah, so the thing is with SIM cards and getting a service provider, to make a call to 911 is actually, you're able to do it even if you don't pay for the service. But if you want to call someone other than that, you would need to actually buy cell service, which would add a lot of cost to our product.
Yeah, you could have a premium service for parents like me.
All right, let's give a big thank you to Vida Boca. Next up, we have Soar from East Palo Alto Academy in California. We will be playing a pre-recorded version of their pitch due to some Wi-Fi issues on their end, but they will be joining us for live questions right after the recorded pitch, so they can interact with the panelists. So let's watch their pitch.
Hello, my name is Daisy Nava, and my partners are Edgar, Roberto, David, and Jose, and our team is Soar, and we will be representing East Palo Alto Academy. This is Andre, and he really loves listening to music and playing video games. He is also on the spectrum, which makes it harder for him to express how he feels to his friends and family. He gets frustrated very easily because he's not able to find the right words to express his emotions. When our team was chatting with Andre and his father, Andre was very upset with his father for waking him up and having to get on another Zoom call right after hours. We had difficulty understanding why he was upset, and his father kept asking how he felt, and which Andre kept repeating that he felt bad. After his dad's multiple attempts of asking why he felt bad, Andre finally came up with the answer that he was upset with his father for waking him up and not being able to get a break. After seeing this, we tried coming up with a way Andre could express how he feels without having to get frustrated. The question we wanted to help improve is how might we help Andre communicate his emotions so as to help him feel more comfortable sharing and then be closer to his friends and family using his interest in music and games.
Imagine if Andre is having another situation like this at home or at school. What if he could just pull out his phone and express his emotions with a click of a button and be able to familiarize his emotions well? With our solution, Andre would just have to point his camera at a familiar object and have a display of emotions at his hand. Our app Soar is an interactive emotional learning tool based on the zones of regulation and augmented reality. We chose marker-based AR because there's a physical component students can easily connect to and digital components that increase functionality. These markers are able to be personalized according to Andre's needs so that he feels more familiarized with them. We started with 4 colored zones because teachers are already using curriculum like the zones of regulation in their classrooms. For the app to work, the marker would need to be printed out by Andre's father or adult like his teachers and be placed in his home where he most finds himself being for easy access. or in his classroom, like on his desk or walls. Once the markers are printed, Andre is able to open the app on his phone and use the camera to scan the marker. After he chose a color zone, a display of emotions within the zone will appear on his screen, allowing him to select the one he feels is close to what he is feeling at the time. After he chose the emotion, a small textual and auditory description will appear for him to read. As a team, we thought it would be a great idea to have some sort of emotion recognition within the app, because we thought it would help him express himself a bit more. Once Andre selects the emotion, the app will give him a coping strategy or expression. According to the zone he is in, for example, the yellow zone, it will express happy or excited. For Andre, he enjoys listening to music with visuals, so we have a feature that will play music and a video of his choice, depending on the zone he selects, as a way to help him cope with his feelings. In the process of getting to know Andre, we also learned that he enjoyed playing games. So we thought it would be a great idea to add some of our own, which will help him find an engaging way of learning. For example, there's a matching game with cartoons that will help him match images in real life, and another game that will present him with real life scenarios, which he will have to choose a way to resolve.
Due to the coronavirus, we weren't able to meet with Andre very much, but something we observed with Andre when we played one of our demos for him is when the camera captured the marker, the song Happy by Pharrell started playing. He commented on how he liked the song when it started playing. And feedback we received from teachers who work at Hope Technological School, which is an all-inclusive school, is having an off and on button for the music, because some people can be embarrassed if they're in public or around people. We want them to be able to feel comfortable on where they choose to play the music. Another feedback is the app could play personal recordings of them cheering themselves up or whatever they like. Or they can choose one of our pre-recorded messages for people who are nonverbal. They could also integrate their own personalized way of coping after the song or recording is played.
As you can see from the chart below, unlike other apps, we are the only solution that has features for learning and coping with emotions and can be personalized to meet individual needs. Most apps only have one or two. VR has been a promising solution, but it is far more challenging because it requires a lot more programming. And sometimes students don't like wearing the headset because they feel uncomfortable.
After coming up with all these ideas and seeing what other apps have, for the future, we would like to partner up with the school so they can educate us more on how the app should look like and perform. With the school, we can also make the app more inclusive by making the app adaptable to the student, depending on where they are on the spectrum or what difficulty they have. Thank you. Hello, my name is Daisy.
All right, we can take a couple questions for the Soar team.
Hey guys, this is Bill. Great job on interesting deployment use of augmented AR in your project. I was wondering how big you think the whole market is for this type of device, this type of application that you shared with us today.
Thank you, Bill. I think this question is best for Edgar.
Hi, Bill. So I think the market for augmented reality is quite big because all the technology has been evolving and like it's been increasing in use over the years. And like now we see like a lot of it used by schools, by hospitals, and many other places. So I think it's quite large, and that's why I can get it for like cheap price here.
Thank you.
Hi, Soar team. Dave here. I have a two-part question. Is the app or platform more for communication of expressing feelings, or is it more for sort of like de-escalating a situation and sort of like coping?
Thank you, Dave. I can answer this question. I'm Daisy. This app is for both. We want to be able to help Andre and other students express how they feel to friends and family, and to help himself understand his own feelings. But we also want him to understand how to help those feelings when he's feeling upset or mad. And we want him to be able to cope and not just keep those feelings to himself.
Okay, cool. I think you guys were onto something really strong in the beginning with like the use of emojis and sort of images from like The Simpsons and things like that. There's a real universality to that. And I think the communication aspect of that is really interesting. And maybe I encourage you guys to keep researching that aspect of it, because I think that was one of the strongest parts of what you guys were focusing on.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's give a round of applause to this team, Soar. And next up, we'll have Team Space from South Fayette High School in Pennsylvania.
Hi, we're the South Fayette High School STEM team, and we'll be presenting our product Space today.
Hi, I'm Shreyas.
Hi, I'm Parv. I'm one of the speakers today.
Hi, I'm Swathi. I'll be one of the speakers today.
Hi, I'm Elisa.
Hi, I'm Pranav, and I'll be one of the speakers today. And unfortunately, Suraj couldn't join us.
When a child on the spectrum is overstimulated, he or she can demonstrate the signs of a meltdown, which can cause a fit that can last from minutes to several hours. We worked with two of our teachers who each have children on the spectrum to gain insight on their children's needs when on the verge of a meltdown. At their parents' request, we were not able to include their children in our presentation. A sensory room, a space designed to stimulate a person's senses, is often used as therapy for children with limited communication skills. These rooms provide a sense of comfort to help these children self-regulate their behaviors. However, a sensory room is not always easily accessible, and parents can find it difficult to calm their child down in public spaces when they are showing signs of a potential meltdown. Thus, we wanted to create an effective solution that would help distressed parents solve this issue.
Introducing Space, or the sensory portal for autism child engagement. Space is a portable sensory wall that creates an immersive safe space designed to comfort kids on the spectrum when they demonstrate the telltale signs of a potential meltdown.
Space features an innovative modular design that allows users to swap panels in and out with ease. Each of these panels has its own toy to soothe their child, such as an hourglass, a set of gears, or a rotating disc. We chose these toys and textures based on our visit to our middle school sensory room and feedback from our community partners. This is our laser cut design modeled in CAD using Fusion 360. Since each child on the spectrum has a unique set of needs, Space's modular design allows it to be configured for any child. Parents can swap the detachable toy panels to ensure that their children never lose interest, keeping them thoroughly engaged. The central panel of Space reflects this philosophy of customization as well. Parents, when they buy it, can choose from a variety of textures they'd like the middle panel to have, such as foam or carpet. Also, if doodling helps their child calm down, they're able to draw all over the device with chalk. We even included a transparent pocket in the center, where parents can insert custom photos of their child's favorite cartoon characters or memories to further comfort them. For example, For one of the kids that we worked with really loved Super Mario, so we included a small image of him when testing with him. The idea is to give the children a welcoming, safe space where they can have a sense of security from overstimulation.
Space was also designed with the intention of being a far more affordable solution compared to the other sensory tools available. This bar diagram represents the cost breakdown of the various aspects of our product. It costs around $50 to produce Space, and we are planning to sell it for less than $100. Several of our competitors seek to create effective sensory walls. However, Space is the only one that combines customization as well as portability while still remaining affordable. On the go, detach one or two of your child's favorite panels from the central panel and take it with you. At home, attach all the panels to the central module to provide for an immersive experience.
Our next steps include creating a website to promote our product and allow users to easily customize new modules. This website would also serve as a community where parents can give us feedback we can use to continually develop our product to best fit their child's needs. Had we been given more time, we also wanted to develop a mobile app for the smartphone that would lie in the slot on the central panel. This app would easily interact with the physical product itself, taking children through social stories where they can turn gears or draw on the panels in order to communicate with the characters in the story. We also wanted to optimize our product by testing with more children on the spectrum to enhance their space experience. And finally, we would like to use polycarbonate instead of wood to make a much more lightweight product. We hope that our product Space will be an affordable and portable solution that allows parents to create an immersive, safe space for their kids in order to prevent a forthcoming meltdown. We thank you for your time and would be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Hi, I thought you guys did a great, this is Mar, I think you guys did a great job, very creative design, and also obviously very affordable compared to other solutions in the market. I'm curious if I know that this is very focused on autistic children, but I'm wondering if you guys have considered also in your potential users, kids that are 1 to 3 years old and are very, susceptible to meltdowns as well.
I can take that question. That's definitely an area we've considered as well. When designing Space, we definitely did first target the children on the spectrum, but this can also be applicable to other categories and groups of children, especially those who are young. They can use the elements on all the panels. Since there are so many, they can just look at use whatever they want and potentially be calmed down from it, or just to have the panel suit them.
Thank you.
Hey guys, this is Bob. I think it's less a question and more just a compliment. I really appreciate the fact that you guys use technology in terms of building materials and carpentry, and that you didn't feel obligated to jump to some more high-tech solution. I think a lot of times when we think about problems like this, we just kind of immediately jump to something that requires silicon and chips and all power and all sorts of stuff. So I appreciate the fact that you were kind of able to keep it real with stuff that people could arguably get at Home Depot or something like that. I mean, there's a lot of technology at Home Depot, and so it's nice to see you guys using some of that.
Thanks.
Thank you.
This is Jen. It's a little bit of a follow-up on Mar's question. First of all, yeah, I really loved how it's changeable over time and how it's both portable and good in a single place. But the question I have is, when you were doing user testing, did you test with children on the spectrum of different ages? Was it clear that this would work for both younger and older children, or is it targeted to a particular age group?
Pranav or Swathi, would one of you want to answer that one?
Yeah, I'll take this question. So the two children that we tested with, they were both under 10. One was 8 or 9, and the other one was 6. So we think that our product will be able to help anyone in under 10, basically.
I'm wondering, just one more comment, because you guys have these different panels that people can put in. I think it's really interesting because this may not be just a one-time purchase, but you can adapt the wall for different ages, and also, I guess, keep making money as you're selling this item.
We have time for one more question for Team Space, if any.
Quick question, if possible. Hi, this is Nagini. Really, really great job. I loved your guys' presentation. I was wondering, so this space is something that parents are taking with them to when they go out into personal or public spaces with their children. Do you ever see maybe a partnership happening with businesses or schools in case parents are not able to have the space with them in that moment?
I can take this question. Yeah, that's definitely something we definitely want to consider. Like the main premise of space that we first wanted to achieve was portability, so that basically anyone can take it anywhere. But if they're going out someplace, like if it's a hotel or if they're anywhere, if there's some space nearby that they can easily just unfold and use, that would definitely be of great help if their children are showing signs of a meltdown, because that would just save so much time and just so much frustration from both the child's end and also the parents' end as well.
And something to add on to that, I think that in the future, we're definitely trying to go back to our middle school itself where it all started and see if we can actually work with schools as well and try to incorporate our project into there, because sometimes it takes a while for like kids, if they're on like the second floor or something and the sensory room is really far away, to calm them down. So maybe like having a couple in each classroom or something where there are kids with autism there, that could also really help. So that's something we're definitely planning on doing in the future.
Great, thank you.
Big round of applause to Team Space. And now we're going to take a quick break for our intermission. Feel free to use the bathroom, take a quick stretch break, or just hang tight, and we will come back together in 3 minutes. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I hope everyone had a great intermission. We are going to start back up again with the medical styles team from Meadville Area Senior High School, also from Pennsylvania. Let's welcome the next team.
Hello, everybody. My name is Shelby Buzzard, and this is our group Medical Styles. I'll let my other group members introduce themselves.
I'm Madison Bradley.
Hi, my name is Lenny Spatzenegger.
When our partner, Elise, was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, her world turned upside down. She is someone with passion and drive, with an amazing work ethic, yet all of the things she worked for were taken away. She was a great teacher, and I know this because I was in her second grade class. She also has a passion for soccer, but her most important job is being a mother. All of these everyday tasks suddenly turned into everyday struggles, to the point where she had to quit teaching. But with the help of our product, we're helping her get her life back one day at a time, so nothing can hold her back from the person she wants to be.
What is multiple sclerosis? MS is a disease in which the immune system eats away at the protective covering of the nerve. MS can cause symptoms such as vision loss, pain, fatigue, and temperature sensitivity. The main two we are focusing on are fatigue and temperature. Up to 60% of people with MS can experience fatigue, and up to 80% can experience temperature sensitivity.
The problem. Like many other people diagnosed with MS, our partner Elise faces challenges with fatigue and temperature sensitivity every day. This can make it hard for her to enjoy things like sports and activities with her children. She once told us about her passion, soccer. One time she had a great game. Everybody was in a good mood and everybody had fun. It was exciting. She was focused on her passion and completely forgot about her condition. She did not feel as the exhaustion grew bigger and bigger with every step she took, until it was too late and Elise broke down. Her body was so exhausted that she was basically bound to bed for the next few days. You don't have to be an expert to realize that this isn't right. People should be able to live their passions without worrying about their body. This is why we invented Medical Styles.
Medical Styles is a health device with a fashionable twist, allowing you to do the things you love to do without risking injury. This device, with the help of Arduino technology, will tell you when to slow down, so you never have to worry about missing signs of weakness or fatigue ever again. The first picture shows our first ever pitch to Elise, where we thought our notification would be a noise or a vibration. But Elise told us that people with MS wouldn't recognize those symptoms because they already experienced tingling and numbness. So when we had the idea of a tightening notification in our second picture, Elise highly approved of it. Next, we put all of the technology together, but Elise soon realized that the screen was unnecessary because it would work better with an app. Our final two pictures show the prototype that was light, efficient, working exactly how we wanted it to, and of course, approved by Elise.
Medical Styles has multiple functions and components. The muscle sensor in our product measures the muscle movement of the user. These informations go straight to our app, where it is put into a daily and weekly statistic. With the help of the included temperature sensor, our app can calculate when our user should slow down. Over our app, our customer will receive a message telling them to slow down in combination with a slight tightening of the bracelet generated by a servo motor. This is in order to avoid an overload on the body and thus extreme fatigue. To individualize these values for every single user, our app collects data on muscle strain and temperature in connection with the experienced fatigue. Our product would cost in total $138.
Coming up with a competitors matrix was very challenging because our product is truly one of a kind. But we came up with 3 competitors. Bella Beat, a fashionable clip used to track sleep activity and stress, the Emlyn app, a multiple sclerosis app in which the user can log their symptoms, and the Fitbit Charge 4, the most recent adaptation of the popular physical activity tracking band. So what makes ours better? First off, style. We pride ourselves on our ability to make such a useful device something that users would be confident to wear out in public. Second, usefulness and dependability. Our competitors track activity, but none of them, or even anything on the market, can track muscle use directly. And lastly, price. Our price is as low as $138. That's lower than all of our competitors. Well, except for the MLN app, which is free. But I know I wouldn't trust a free app with all of my health information, would you?
Next steps. With more time and money, we plan on bettering our device by attaching it to a mini Arduino and making it wireless. We would also like to make our app more user-friendly. We're asking for $1,400 to create at least 10 more products to test them on more people with MS. We feel that our product could create a more functional lifestyle for people that face challenges just like Elise. Any questions?
Yeah, hi, this is Bill. A great important problem you guys are working on there. I'm wondering about the device interaction with the user. Does the user wear the device? Would Elise wear it all day long? Would it just be when she's out exercising or doing some kind of athletic kind of activity?
Thank you for your question. Maddie, would you like to take that one?
Yeah, I'll take it. I would say that she would wear it all day long because no matter if you have MS, no matter what you're doing, you're always exerting yourself in some way. So whether it's playing a game of soccer like she did the one day or trying to reach something on the top shelf, everything is going to cause her to have weakness and fatigue, and her body temperature will ultimately go up with this activity. So I think that she should always be alert.
Hey guys, this is Bob again. Nice job. It's a really interesting application of wearable technology, which I think is a really interesting area of technology overall. From the picture, if I remember, it looked like it was worn on the arm, higher up on the arm, or where exactly did you wear it? Was it on the wrist or on the arm? Sorry, that last picture you were on just before this one. The next slide. Yeah, there we go. The picture on the far right. Whoop. It looks like it's kind of around the bicep.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you guys consider any like around? I don't even know if it would work if it was down on the ankle or the leg or under clothing, or I mean, does it have to? Is it something that has to be visible?
Thank you for your question. Maddie or Lenny, would either of you like to take that one?
I can take that one. So yeah, we considered putting it, for example, on the thigh, but right now we just have it on our arm. So we have the bicep, but as we develop our project or our product, we'll be able to put it anywhere where the user might use the muscle.
Cool. Thank you.
To follow up on that question, I was wondering, I don't know much about the disease, but I was wondering if it would be advantageous to have more than one sensor in your body. I don't know how localized it is.
Thank you for your question. Maddie, would you like to take that one?
Yeah, I'll take it. Well, when it comes to MS, anything you do really it can cause weakness or fatigue, but with a temperature sensor, it will, wherever it is located on the body, it will read the entire body's temperature. So you don't really need to put it in any other area of your body per se. But with the muscle sensor, you could have it in multiple places at once, but you would have to have multiple different products. I would say just keeping it in one part of your body would be useful enough.
Okay, thank you. And I know, just one quick question. I know you quoted 138 as your price. What do you think is your estimate on your own cost for this band? What's your cost?
Lenny or Maddie, would you like to take? Lenny or Maddie, would you like to take the question?
It's okay. I can see the
Apparently
slide.
It looks like the
Wait,
markup.
did you say
It wasn't clear to me whether that was your cost, that was your sale price, and your competitors' matrix. I wasn't 100% sure, and was just wondering if it was the price, how much margin did you actually have? It seems that 130 is your actual cost.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So then I think maybe for your competitor matrix, you want to compare it to the actual sale price.
Okay.
But anyway, small comment. Don't worry.
All right, let's give it up to Medical Styles team. Next, we will have Wink, presented by our students from Sacramento. So let's give it up for them.
Hi everyone, we are Team Wink and we created an automated hay cover. I'm Caitlin.
I'm Sean.
Chris.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Anthony.
Wink is an automated hay cover that gives farmers with physical disabilities a sense of independence around the farm. Meet Bridget. She is an avid breeder and animal caretaker. She takes care of dogs, cats, horses, and goats in her ranch. Unlike other farmers, Bridget cares for these animals as a hobby and a way of overcoming her depression. It gives her a purpose to get up and do something each day. However, other than depression, Bridget also suffers from lupus and severe arthritis. Her hands have severely calcified. She experiences pains in her joints, and this presents mobility issues. She is afraid she will fall off the stack of hay bales. Every year, Bridget spends about $15,000 on hay. It sits outside experiencing all changes in weather, in the heat and in the rain. It is vulnerable to mold and decay, so she makes an effort in covering it by climbing up a long, dangerous ladder with a tarp. She is often very scared of falling off the ladder. We have created a safe solution to cover the hay bales. The tarp covers the hay bales with a click of a button, which will not be painful for Bridget to use. The tarp is mounted on a portable platform which can be conveniently moved around on wheels.
Our design includes many features that allow Bridget to easily cover her hay. Because Bridget often has difficulty using her hands because of her arthritis, and the fact that her joints will often hurt when climbing or even just standing or sitting for prolonged periods of time. Because of these challenges that she faces, we decided to make a simple device that's easy to use and doesn't require any strenuous activity to operate. We placed our device on a trailer bed so it can be easily towed and transported around her property. On the trailer, a crane-like structure will be mounted, which will have the circular tarp. We will include solar panels so it doesn't require her to plug it in or need access to electricity. These solar panels will charge a battery on the device that will power the electronics. These electronics automate the entire covering process so it doesn't require her to manually climb up and cover her hay. She simply needs to push a button to protect it.
Pricing. Our total price is $1,199. The trailer is the majority, which costs $515 just for the trailer. The markup is 17.8% of our price and $214, raising it to an even price. For our competitor matrix, we compared it in 5 categories. You can see that Wink covers all 5 categories better than most of the other products. Next steps. In the future, we wish to build this prototype so we can actually test how our project will work, build the actual project so Bridget can use it to cover her hay without risking her falling off the ladder, increase the availability of our project by decreasing the cost and size and improving the durability and reliability of the electronics. This product will not only benefit Bridget, but will also benefit small-scale farmers, farmers and ranchers with physical disabilities, and will provide alternate solutions for special functions such as farmers markets and other expositions.
Thank you. Any questions?
This is Jen. Thanks, great job. Can you help me understand how often hay is covered versus uncovered by farmers in general? And you talked about it a little bit at the end there, but would this be something that's appealing to a broader set of farmers beyond those with disabilities?
Thank you for your question. Anthony, would you like to answer this question?
Sure. So basically, what this cover would be for is whenever there's some sort of rain or anything that could, damage the hay. It basically helps protect the hay and prevents farmers from having to rebuy all this hay. And for this product, it would basically be for more than just people with disabilities, for small-scale farmers, those with physical disabilities, once again. This helps basically provide an option to protect and cover the hay without actually having to buy big structures such as a barn.
Hi guys, this is Bill. What kind of testing did you do with the user relative to how this thing might be deployed?
Thank you for your question. Anthony, would you like to answer this question?
Sure. So in terms of testing, we have basically tried to put it in a scenario that it would be used for. Basically made sure everything would work. So the umbrella piece, making sure it would fold and unfold correctly. The motors, making sure that it would open without any sort of malfunction. And then in terms of testing with our clients, due to the COVID-19, we have not been able to test it in person. However, we showed her our models and basically how the pieces would work, and she approved of it, thinking that it looked pretty good and that it would fit her issue.
I see. And on the trailer, does the trailer stay against the pile of hay the whole time? So the hay gets delivered, the trailer, I guess, gets pushed up against it, or does the trailer keep coming and going against the hay over the course of a season, or is it kind of parked wherever your hay is?
Anthony, would you like to answer? Or Chris?
Sure. I guess, so the trailer, basically how it would work is that the hay would basically be put onto the trailer. So that way, when there is any sort of rain or such, it would protect the hay through the umbrella cover. So basically, when delivering the hay, it would be put onto the trailer.
I see. So I got it. So when they deliver the hay the first time, it's applied against the trailer. I got it. Thank you.
All right, let's give a round of applause to Team Wink. Next up, we will have Cartographer from City Lab High School in Dallas.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here today. We are the Project Invent team from City Lab High School in Dallas, Texas.
Our community partner is Colby Bannister. Colby is a fun-loving person with many interests, including Mexican food, gymnastics, and social media. Colby is 33 years old and has Down syndrome. Imagine walking through the grocery store and constantly forgetting what you had on your grocery list. Imagine walking through the aisles and getting lost. Imagine not being able to complete a grocery store trip by yourself. This is the life that Colby lives, but someday he dreams to live on his own. One step to achieving his goal is mastering grocery store shopping. We knew that achieving this goal would get him closer to having the necessary skills for independent living. So we wondered, how could we help Colby with grocery shopping? We brainstormed how we could help him successfully navigate a grocery trip on his own, and came up with the following suggestions.
We would like to introduce to you our solution, the Cartographer, a mapping device to optimize independence while grocery shopping.
We did not have the ability to make a physical prototype this year, so our invention is still in the idea stage. Our device would have three main features. The first feature is that the invention itself is a small physical device that attaches to the person or their grocery cart. The second feature is that the device will discreetly beep when an aisle with a needed product is missed. Next, the device will connect to an app on the user's phone. This connection allows the user to view a map to determine why the device was beeping and what they may have missed. The map and suggested route will adjust for the user as they walk through the store. We believe that the combination of a beeping notification and a smart map features will assist Colby's ability to successfully complete a trip on his own, getting him one step closer to his desired independence.
Talking to Colby was one of the best parts of our experience. Here's what he had to say when we showed him where we currently are in the design process.
If the video doesn't load, perhaps we can give a synopsis of the sentiment he was describing.
All right, I'll just explain what he said in the video. So he was saying that he loved where we were in the design process, and him and his mother were just like praising us, and then they said they can't wait to see the finished product. So then onto our competitor matrix, we analyzed two other solutions that exist in the market now, and we feel the Cartographer stands out because it adjusts for and with the user. We also believe that it would be the most inexpensive. Additionally, an individual user could purchase one, whereas our competitors would likely be purchased by the stores instead of an individual user. Now we will discuss what we think comes next for our team based on where we are now and our feedback from Colby. Colby and his family gave us positive feedback, but we also learned a lot about him from a lot from him about what else we should consider adding to our idea. We want to think more about options for how a user might wear or attach the device, and consider additional features to increase the accessibility of our device for Colby and other users, like vibration and voice notifications.
So what we use an investment for? We are looking for an investment so that we can get supplies for our team. We would love to be able to purchase tools and supplies for prototyping, and in particular, a 3D printer could help our team figure out what our products would look like. Additionally, we want to learn more. We would love to find outside courses to take or places we can join, like our local makerspace, so that we can improve and have an actual physical product next year. Finally, we also think it would be cool to do more user testing and think funding could support the extra supplies we would need. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Hi, Dave here. I have a question about how it would alert you when you go down the aisle. Is there something within the store that's planted that sets you off, or is there, how does it know at what point to tell you that you've missed something?
Thank you for your question. Elliot can take that one.
So basically, it's a mapping device, and basically the map will be able to see if the product, or since the aisles all have like different things that they're mainly focused on, if the product is in like a category that aisle is like based around, it will alert the user. So it's not entirely 100% accurate, but it will mostly be accurate.
And would that be for that individual specific store? Is that all grocery stores? Would you have to pre-map it ahead of time?
Well, the device is self-learning, but basically, the device would it's personal. So basically, whatever grocery store they go into, it will map that grocery store. So it will work from multiple grocery stores too.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Hi, this is Mar. I'm wondering if you guys have talked to grocery store owners. I know a lot of them are trying to put smart carts or are considering various options where, it's also used for people that are, just trying to optimize how they run around the store and find their products, and whether your solution could be integrated with some of those other products that are coming in the market.
Grayson can answer your question.
So currently, we looked at these smart carts, and none of these smart cart options actually cater to people with intellectual disabilities or people with Down syndrome. And so that's what we were trying to do with our product. But if we could find a way to integrate it with a smart cart, I think that would be great. Our product maps itself, however, and is far less expensive and is way more portable and a personal item. And so since it's a personal item, you don't have to rely on a store to keep it optimized, to have it always there, for it to always be there. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would guess that for the grocery owners, just letting these smart carts know where they have their items and where there's inventory and so on. That's probably a hard part of the deployment. So for you guys, you maybe can piggyback on that work. That's what I was thinking.
We would love to help improve our mapping system with these smart carts. If a store were to have a smart cart already mapped out of the system, we would love to borrow that and even use that for our product to help make our product better. But we are trying to keep it more of a personal item that maps itself. So you wouldn't even need a mapping, a preset map.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's give it up to Cartographer team. Finally, we have one last team, Safe Step from Santa Clara High School.
Hi everyone, we are Safe Step, the discrete emergency fall detector. Our journey was inspired by one of our teammates' stories. on how his grandmother fell inside her house and was unable to move for hours before getting the proper help. Since then, we wanted to focus our attention to the elderly population. Here, we met Debbie Rosenberg, an 82-year-old active woman who lives by herself. She herself suffered a hard fall on her pelvis and had to use a walker ever since. We asked her if she ever thought about getting a big red button in case she does fall again and needs to contact somebody. She had mentioned that the systems on the market right now were not discreet enough and were too bulky. We later realized a lot of elderly people don't have the system because of the same reasons. We wanted to create a subtle product to help with this issue. After doing some more research, we learned that falls are the leading cause of fatal injury and the most common cause of non-fatal trauma-related hospital admissions among older adults. And over 800,000 people a year are hospitalized because of fall injury. Our main target audience is for the elderly and those with limited mobility. From this, we created a problem statement. How might we effectively detect a fall and quickly notify emergency contacts in order for one to get immediate assistance?
Originally, we had planned on creating a fall detector that was linked to her shoe as a sole insert. However, after careful consideration and an interview with Debbie, we found this product would be impractical, for she already has numerous gel inserts in her shoe. So after many other ideas and interviews, we reached our current design, a discrete fall detection system that slips onto the tongue of the shoe. On top of the design, there'll be a calibrator, low battery light, charging port, as well as magnets to attach the device to the charger. Inside of the product, there'll be an accelerometer and a gyroscopic sensor, while underneath the clip will be the pressure sensor. The charger will have the opposing magnets and port, and it'll come with a resistant and durable cover. The device easily slips onto the tongue of the shoe. When the user first wears the shoe with the device attached, it activates upon contact with the user's foot using the pressure sensor. SafeStep will begin to monitor the angle at which the shoe is at, using the accelerometer and pressure sensor. Here are 3 common scenarios the user may encounter. If the user were to fall, the angled measure go past the set limit. If it does not return within a certain amount of time, then the Bluetooth module will signal the app on the user's phone to notify their emergency contacts. If another scenario is if the user is able to kick or pull off their shoe. There's a major change in direction, but the removal of the pressure would indicate that the user is no longer wearing their shoe, and there will be no action taken. The third scenario is if the user is able to catch themselves as they fall. Even though there's a major change in direction and pressure is being sensed, they're able to recover within the certain predetermined amount of time. And once again, no action would be taken.
Our device costs about $46 for the main components, $2 for other materials, as well as $10 for the charger. Based on the items needed to develop this product, the total cost of production is $58. We plan to mark up our product by $12, allowing for a 20.7% profit margin, leading to a selling total of $70. Based on our target audience and our profit, the total attainable market would be $660 million, while the serviceable available market is $9.6 million. There are a few different products that are able to contact emergency services on the market right now. Both Life Alert and LifePhone landlines are private options that offer 24/7 emergency services. Life Alert offers bulky red help buttons, which one can press in case of an emergency. Once the button is pressed, the company's private emergency services are contacted. Similarly, LifePhone is an immobile, in-home safety system which includes help buttons. A fall detection system is also offered for additional cost. However, both require a monthly subscription. Our product, SafeStep, is more affordable, portable, simple, and subtle compared to other devices on the market. With no monthly plan needed, SafeStep is a one-time purchase, as we directly connect to family members or emergency services. Portability-wise, this product can be taken anywhere, as it simply needs to be clipped onto a shoe and can sense falls at any location. Our device is also simple and fairly easy to use, as well as automatic, unlike our competitors. If we receive funds for this project, we hope to work on the research and development of our product. We want to focus on creating a working design that is marketable in the future. Some of our next steps for this company include creating user testing and creating a final prototype, an app that can notify emergency contacts and allow users to override false alarms, as well as a final design with a simple user interface. We also hope to begin manufacturing and advertising our product in order for it to reach the elderly. Lastly, we hope to give back to the community in the future by donating a percentage of our proceeds to charities that support our cause. Thank you for your time. Choose SafeStep and move forward without fear.
Great job. This is Jen. I have a question about people who are at home and not wearing shoes, because my sense is that a lot of people don't wear shoes inside their homes, and that a lot of these falls happen when people are home, and including when people are, you know, bathing or showering. And so I'm curious if you considered another form factor like a wristband or anything else that doesn't have to clip onto a shoe.
Thank you for your question. I'm going to pass this question on to Raina.
Really great question. When we were developing this product, we were thinking more about our client, and she does wear shoes in the house for greater just because she actually has broken a pelvis from a fall previously. So we targeted this for her because we created a shoe clip because she does wear shoes in the house. However, a further development that we were thinking of is that since it is feasibly just a clip, we could technically clip it onto a waistband, a neckline, any sort of article of clothing that presses up against the skin to let the sensor know that someone is wearing it. And then from there, we have the calibration button that will set the calibration back to 0. So if they do sense a sudden change in the direction, they will still be able to detect a fall.
Great. So that's terrific that the clip could basically be clipped anywhere and still work. Thank you.
Hey guys, a quick question about how do you do the alerting out from the shoe device itself? How does that work? And then one question about what's your guesstimate on battery life for the shoe? How often would the person have to go recharge their shoes?
Great question. I'm going to pass it on to Lorenzo.
Yeah, great question. To answer your first question about the process of sending out the signal, once the device detects a fall, the Bluetooth module on the device would send a signal to the phone app that it's connected to, which would then take the user's contact information, emergency contact information, and send some sort of text or call to close family members who can help verify that they have actually fallen or immediately call emergency services. And then could you repeat your second question?
It was just about battery life.
Battery life. So because it's a static device and it's not doing much that requires a lot of electricity, we expect it to be able to last a full day, a full 14, 16-hour day. And because we have quite a lot of room to work with in terms of small batteries, we're relatively sure that a nightly charge should suffice.
Thank you.
Hey guys, this is Bob. Again, sort of more of a compliment than a question. I just wanted to say I really like the slides. You know, like slides matter, and I think you guys did a great job with color, typography, and I really like the illustration you had of Debbie back at the very early part of the deck. So whoever did the slides, nice job.
Thank you so much.
All right, those are all the pitches we have for you today. So let's give all of the teams who presented a round of applause. Now I'm excited to start off with the most exciting part of Demo Day, where you get to ask the teams your questions and interact with them directly. So while the judges deliberate, we're going to give you this chance to talk to the teams. We'll be splitting the audience into breakout rooms where you can interact with the teams directly. There will be 2 teams and 1 moderator in each of these breakout rooms. And this is your chance to ask questions and hear about what happened behind the scenes to create all of the inventions presented today. There will also be an additional room for any interested teachers, school leaders, or donors to talk more closely with our executive director about how to join or support Project Invent. You can separately request to be in this room as well. In a few moments, you'll receive a pop-up on your computer saying that you've been invited to join a breakout room. Go ahead and click join when that comes up. You can request to change breakout rooms at any time just click Leave Breakout Room on the bottom right of your black bar, then return to main session. Once you return back to the main room, message in the chat box the team or room you want to visit to Lexi, in parentheses, tech. It may take us a few minutes to get to you, but we will move you into another breakout as soon as we can. You'll have about 30 minutes to visit as many breakout rooms as you would like. And if you're feeling inspired after the presentations today, know that Project Invent is only possible because of supporters like you. We are able to train teachers, run demo day, support our teams because of the generosity of our community. So whether you got to see your own child grow throughout the year from their Project Invent experience, or are witnessing the impact of Project Invent for the first time today, we would love for you to make a contribution. You can text Project Invent to 44321 or visit our website at projectinvent.org/donate. And with that, you should now be getting a pop-up to invite you to join a breakout room. Take your time visiting teams, and we will bring it back together at 3:15 Pacific or 6:15 Eastern for our awards ceremony. Everyone have a great time.
Alrighty, looks like people are starting to return. We'll give them about 30 more seconds all to get back before we move in. I think we have about half the participants back, so we'll wait a little longer. Alrighty, I think we can get started and move into the part we've all been waiting for, our awards. So hopefully you had some really great conversations in your breakout rooms with your teams. Before we jump into revealing our awards, I want to quickly speak to the students. You guys should really be incredibly proud of all you have accomplished to get here today, especially in the midst of a pandemic. Being able to invent and still find ways to bring hope to others and inspire others with your inventions is an incredible opportunity that you guys have crafted for yourself. So huge kudos to you for doing that. I want to remind you guys as well that although the next phase of what we're moving into right now is revealing who won prize money today, I want to remind you that not getting an award doesn't mean that you have lost either. Within the grand scheme of things, you guys have created an invention that's going to change people's lives. And unlike for most high school projects where you're just doing something for a worksheet or you're just doing something for a grade, this is completely different. You've created something that's going to be able to live beyond the classroom, and you should really be proud of all you have done to get there. So whether you get an award today or not, remember that this isn't the end of your journey. You're going to still be able to find so many ways to make impact. You can continue to apply for other sources of funding. You can make connections like the ones with our panelists today, and you can continue to share about the important invention you guys created. You were able to share it to a few hundred people today, and imagine how many more people can be inspired by what you have made. Dozens of students have gone through the program just like you and are still working on their inventions, either getting patents, winning awards, and getting their ideas out there. So we hope this doesn't mark the end for you either. And as you probably found out already through your year of invention, success only comes out of overcoming challenges. And today is only one step in that journey. So with that, I'm going to invite our panelists to join us and present our final awards.
Awesome. Thank you, Connie. Well, I want to first say thank you to Connie for inviting us. It's a great privilege to be here and listen to all of you present your projects. It's incredibly impressive, and gives us a ray of hope in the situation that we're in, that there are people like you out there trying to make the world a better place. And I think none of us know what's going to happen or when are we going back to normal, but I think we know that we will need people like you to get us out of this. So thank you so much. I want to also thank my panelists. It was we had a great discussion, tough decisions, because everybody was truly amazing and touched a little bit of our hearts as well. So with all of that, just reemphasizing what Connie said, that everybody here is today recognized, and we're giving an award to everybody. So we're gonna get started with that. Let's see, we're gonna start with an award of $100 for Wink. We thought Wink had a very unique solution for their community, very creative. None of us are familiar, but the fact that you guys got to know somebody that is really close to you and came up with a solution for them was really important. So thank you, Team Wink. We'll clap for them. Okay, we also would like to give $100 to Cartographer. We thought that they had a solution that was putting the user ahead of the actual grocery store, and that was really important, very well thought out. So we'd like to recognize them with $100 award. So we'll clap for Team Cartographer. Okay. We also wanted to grant $100 award to Safe Step. They came up with a solution that was very discreet. I don't think people want to be wearing a big chain around their neck or anything like that to figure out that they could be in trouble. So we thought that was clever, and your presentation was outstanding. So thank you, Team Safe Step. We'll clap for them. Okay. Then with an award of $400, we have Medical Styles. We love this solution. We think Medical Styles feels like the Fitbit for MS. It was a really good and clever solution. It also made us feel like they really cared about their user. Elise was really present in the presentation, which was great. And in a way, it feels like this is a resurgence of the wearables and a very good use for it. So thank you, Team Medical Styles. Okay, with a price of $600, we have Vida Boca. It's a huge market. We felt like they had paid so much detail to the solution. It was very clever. They thought out every last detail, also had a very close relationship to their user and went through various iterations. So we'd like to recognize them with this award. Thank you, Vida Boca. And finally, with a price of $1,000 for Space. Space had a very clever solution as well. It was both customizable, portable, something that could generate revenue for a company throughout the life of a child. It wasn't just a one-time purchase. So, and it just very clever. So good job, Team Space. And with that, I'm going to let the team at Whistling Kennedy present their award.
Hello, Nagini and I are presenting the White and Kennedy Award to Soar. We thought that it had a really interesting intersection of technology, entertainment. It also had an emotional aspect to it. And then we think that the potential of it going towards nonverbal communication is really interesting. And there's a lot of interesting developments with art and AR. And I think with further thinking and development, you have the potential to sort of create a world or an experience and a platform beyond just a product. And I was particularly intrigued about looking and using emojis and commonly known emotions from like media characters and things like that. I think there's a lot of potential around that with your examples, and that you should continue to explore that. And then Nagini, is there anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I just really appreciated like the use of color association and combining that across multiple different avenues through the AR and the tech, as well as the entertainment, like Dave mentioned. So we thought you all did a really, really good job.
Awesome. Thank you so much, panelists, for revealing those incredible prizes. I feel like, just like you said, every team did so amazing today, and I'm leaving incredibly inspired. So I feel like that's all we can really ask for. And now the teams have some seed funding to be able to continue building their projects and impacting hundreds, thousands, millions more people. So thank you so much for sponsoring all of that. Before we end here, I'm going to just do a few more thank yous. Obviously, a huge thank you to the panelists. They're the ones who make these awards possible and come in with these decades of experience that they bring to be able to ask good questions and help us bring more color into the work we do. So huge, huge, huge thank you to all the panelists for spending those hours with us today, and the finances to be able to sponsor these projects. I also want to thank our crew of volunteers. You might not have noticed these folks, but we had a lot of people behind the scenes who were helping with tech, coordinating breakout rooms, leading the breakout rooms, and that wouldn't be able to happen without their generosity of time and being able to be here and make that event happen as well. And then finally, thank you to everyone who joined as an audience members today to support our teams. We're hoping you're leaving just as inspired and hopeful as I'm feeling. And we really want you to be able to find additional ways to support these inventors more than just being here today. So whether that's a connection that one of these students should know, or you want to be able to sponsor a team in the future. Those are all things that we encourage you to continue to think about and do. And definitely we're happy to have you reach out, and we want to hear from all of you about what you thought about the event as well, and find ways to have you continue to be part of the Project Invent community. So thank you for being here. So that's all from us today. We're going to wrap up the event right here. And again, another big thank you, and everyone stay safe and well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you, you guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Amazing
it.
job,
Great
Connie.
job, everybody.
Thank
you,
you.
everybody.